Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about the warming and cooling effect of tea and how, depending on what season you're in, you might gravitate towards certain teas. Now before we begin, I highly recommend you check out our back catalog of episodes, and I'll make sure to put some banners up here. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. So you really see this more in the Chinese tea culture, and of course that was the tea culture. Tea comes from China originally. Eventually, some monks brought it to Japan, and the British did a lot to bring it to India and other parts, and then eventually it got to us. But the idea of kind of the warmth and coolness of the body is very, very pervasive in the Chinese culture. And so they believe that there's certain things, not just food and drink and other things, that will bring a coolness, that the body's too cold or too hot. You see this kind of in Chinese herbal medicine. And so the idea of in tea is not too different, that there's going to be some teas that, depending on what season you're in, might warm your body, and some teas that, depending on what season you're in, might cool your body. And we kind of see this played out intuitively in the foods that we eat even here in America. Like, for example, watermelon. Most people, even if you live in a place that you can get watermelon in January, most people are not eating watermelon when you live in Massachusetts or Minnesota or somewhere where it's cold in the winter. We just don't do that, right? So what do we gravitate toward in winter months? Warm foods, soups, broths. I love curry, Indian or Thai, so I'll be eating warm stuff, right? Because it warms us up. So even though you might be in a house where you have the thermostat at 75, there's something just intuitive about eating warming foods when it's cold outside. And you flip it conversely. In the summer, we're not eating a lot of broths and hot soups in the summer because it's hot outside, so we're going to be eating cooler foods like watermelon, for example, stuff that cools us. So even though, yes, we all can drink cold water, the majority of us have cold water at our disposal in the summer, but we just gravitate toward cooler food. That's not to say you're not going to eat like a hot hamburger or something like that in the summer, but we just intuitively will eat, and I know I've said that word a lot, intuitively eat colder foods in the summer. So tea is no different. So when you look at the 6 categories of tea, there's going to be teas that are lightly oxidized or not oxidized at all. That's going to be like the greens and the whites and the light oxidized oolongs. Then you're going to have the more oxidized or completely oxidized teas, which would be the stronger oolongs and the black teas, or as the Chinese would call it, the dark teas, or the red teas, I should say they call it. Then you got the dark teas, the most famous being the fermented pu'er. So it's no different there. In the tea kind of culture, in the summer months, people as a whole are going to be gravitating toward the lightly to no oxidized drinks. And this could be hot or you're drinking it cold. But as a whole, in hot summer months, and it can get hot in China, it can get hot in Japan, they're going to be drinking more of the greens because they're more vegetal, they're more herbal, and they're just lighter drinks. They have a lighter liqueur to them, but they're just lighter in their taste. And so people are going to be gravitating to those in the hot month. Now, of course, you can cold brew your teas. We have videos here on how to cold brew your teas, and some people will drink their cold. But traditionally, even in hot months, people are still, as a whole, with tea culture going back centuries, will still drink it hot. Part of that is maybe they didn't have the way to make it cold. But either way, you tend to drink greens, whites, and yellows. And some would say yellows are just a higher classification of white, but I'll try to put a banner up here on what are yellow teas because they are rare to find. They'll drink that in the summer. So again, conversely then, what are you drinking in the winter? Well, you're going to be drinking the more oxidized teas. So you're going to be drinking the strong, kind of like the Black Dragon oolongs. You're going to be drinking, instead of like a lighter one like the Alashans, you're going to be drinking black teas, whether they be chai, whether they be Earl Grey, whether they be whatever. You're drinking Nilgiris, Ceylon. There's a wide variety of black teas. You're going to be drinking those, and then you're going to be drinking the darker drinks because there's something, the dark teas, because there's just something that warms you up. You could be drinking a nice Gyokuro green Japanese tea in the heart of January, and look, it tastes good. I just drank in matcha right now, and it's the heart of January, and that's a green tea. That's a brown rice green tea from Japan. But there is something about the more oxidized teas that just warm you up. So in closing, I would tell you, kind of learn from our tea ancestors, so to speak, and just understand that it's not abnormal for us to gravitate towards certain teas given what the season is. And just understand that in the summer we tend to drink more of the greens and the whites, iced or warm, and then in the winter we drink the more oxidized drinks. Guys, post in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless.